What is happening, my friends? Welcome back to the channel. Let's talk about Hellraiser 2022. Really quick, I'm going to go over some stats. IMDb 6.3 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes 68% as it stands right now. Metacritic 58%. So this film stars Jamie Clayton as the new Pinhead. Flat out gotta say that nobody will ever replace Doug Bradley as Pinhead. Doug Bradley was born to play that character. His nuanced acting, his mannerisms, his voice, his delivery, truly iconic, up there with Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger, the original Michael Myers, Jason. Now, Doug Bradley was in some bad sequels. Anything past the original two, I kind of like right off. They were terrible. I viewed them as like cash grabs, just like poorly done, rushed, cheap. But the first two films are absolute classics, and Doug Bradley really shined in those films. Just massive presence as Pinhead. By the way, this review will have spoilers. So Jamie Clayton, her performance as Pinhead, I enjoyed it. I appreciated it. Certainly wasn't Doug Bradley. And to my understanding, she wasn't trying to be Doug Bradley, which is a plus because you can never be. I didn't find her portrayal of Pinhead as standout as Doug Bradley's portrayal. The presence wasn't there. There's a certain like charisma that Doug Bradley brought to the Pinhead character, like a dark charisma. Hard to explain. It wasn't there with Jamie Clayton, but I don't hate her performance either. I thought it was adequate. I'm cool with her being Pinhead going forward. There's supposed to be a series coming. We'll see how that plays out. As far as the movie itself, if I could quickly touch on the acting, I mean, these guys were like, I wouldn't even call them B-level actors, maybe C. I mean, some scenes and performances were okay, but definitely not the highlight of this movie. The actors did okay. The best acting out of the film was actually Riley, played by Odessa Azion. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Apologies if not. She did pretty good. Let's talk about the good stuff. The Chinbeatz looked awesome. The special effects and makeup, just great. Definitely didn't cheap out. You could definitely tell they had a budget for that. They look fantastic. I mean, the old school Chinbeatz had like leather, kind of like bondage garments, chains, which was cool. But when you think about like demons and Chinbeatz, would they really wear clothes? No, their flesh would be their clothes. The configuration of their flesh. And that's what they did. I thought it was awesome. It looked like Pinhead had a like gown of skin. Chatterer looked super cool. Just the overall design of the Chinbeatz, horrifically awesome in such a great way. I love the portrayal of the Chinbeatz. I love how slow they were and methodical, but like surprisingly dangerous. You had the one Asian Chinbeatz that had like these thin wires she controlled, similar to like Pinhead with the hooks, but she would wrap these wires around you and just cut you to pieces. So she didn't have to move fast. Then there was another one that was bound up. You thought, this one's slow, I could get away from him. He unbounds and just goes crazy on the chase. I think that was well done, how unpredictable the Chinbeatz were and their abilities, because it kind of kept you on the edge of your seat. Like you can't really understand them. They're kind of like alien. It's like, okay, what does this one do? How is this one dangerous? Very, very well done with that. This story was okay. I mean, it kind of reminded me of a typical storyline from the comics and the illustrated novels. It was just a Hellraiser story. You had this rich, powerful figure that had everything you could ever want on Earth. And what happens with powerful people, sometimes they keep reaching, they want more and more. So this guy wanted to seek the pleasures and the secrets of the puzzle box. And boy, did he find them. But it's not what he bargained for, which is typical of like Hellraiser and the Hellraiser lore. But yeah, run-of-the-mill story. There wasn't really anything in it that surprised me or was a shocker or was like a big twist. Besides the one love interest, the guy that was in on it with Vault. That was an interesting twist. Oh, by the way, some of the Chinbeatz, their names. Selena Lowe played the Gasp. She's the one with the little wires. You had the Weeper. Of course, you had Chatterer. Of course, Pinhead. You had Mask. To name a few, I kind of wish we saw Butterball, like a new rendition of Butterball. That would have been cool. What else could I say about the film? The score was awesome, loved it. I felt like the music was perfect. You definitely heard the original theme mixed in there, which was really cool. Great fan service. But they did just enough. They didn't completely copy the music of the original films. I absolutely love the design of the puzzle box. It looked more 3D, more detail to it. I love that opening shot where it looks like it's a box, but it's not in that configuration. And when the camera kind of pans sideways, you see that it's extended out in another shape. Very well done. I'm happy they kept Leviathan as is. Major spoiler, I knew without a doubt that Vault was going to turn into a Cenobite. I mean, I saw that coming a mile away. I thought that whole scene at the end where Vault was being transformed, it was pretty cool. Horrific, gory, but I think when Dr. Channard got turned into a Cenobite in the original part 2, that was way worse. As far as like the gore factor, how painful it looked. But I did like this interpretation in the new film of like how people are created into Cenobites. Very interesting. I was thinking, is he the new Chatterer? Because like his mouth got peeled and you saw like his teeth. It'll be interesting to see if that particular Cenobite, the Vault Cenobite, is in the series going forward. So what would I grade this film? Would I recommend it? I'm going to say that if you're a Hellraiser fan on any level, you have to watch this movie out of principle. Do yourself that favor. I rank it the third best in the franchise. The first two being the very best to me, this one is right after those. I really appreciated the efforts by the movie team, the director, the special effects, the guys who did the score. You could tell that they were fans of the franchise. They paid attention to certain details, and they tried to give us a true Hellraiser film. Very much appreciate the effort. So yes, I would recommend it to a Hellraiser fan 100%. Going with an open mind. Try not to compare it to the first two films. Try not to compare the new Pinhead to Doug Bradley because you just can't. As far as like a horror fan in general, yes, I would recommend it. What would I grade it? Well, I do movie grades based on what they are. This is a horror film, a reboot of an established franchise. I thought it was overall good. I enjoyed it. Was it mind-blowing? Was it amazing? No. Was it enjoyable to me for what it was? Yes. So I'm going to give Hellraiser 2022 a B. Again, for what it is. Definitely a flawed film. Things could be improved upon. If hopefully they continue and do more sequels. But solid first effort in this reboot. That's it, guys. I don't know what else to say about the film. If you already saw it and you want to drop a comment, please feel free to do so. Love reading the comments and opinions. If you haven't seen it, check it out. If you want to come back and comment, that's great too. Appreciate you guys watching the review. If this is your first time at the channel, you enjoy the content, consider hitting that subscribe button. Appreciate that, guys. If you want to show support, like and share the video. And I'll catch you guys on the next review. Take care, guys.